And the Trump train kept a-rolling. That is, of course, Aerosmith with Train Kept a-Rolling. And kicking off the show tonight, we heard some Armored Saint with hanging Judge Kavanaugh, who is now an associate judge on the Supreme Court, as he should be, and a guy who actually picked both of those opening songs tonight, a guy who could care less about the Trump train, or at least he claims so, is our good friend Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
I wasn't sure I was needed tonight. I figured I could just say hello and then step out of the way and let you take your victory lap tonight, man.
Well, I don't consider it a personal victory. I just consider it a victory for people who are so maligned in this country by a mainstream media that is completely out of control and the wackos that are completely unhinged in this country. Sure. And it just sent a very strong message to them that you're not in charge. You're not in charge.
Did you see the silly bitches in Washington that were covering their faces with menstrual blood?
I did not.
Oh, that was great.
Well, see, I'm not going to turn this all in political, but just as somebody who watched this nonsense that's been going on for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
All it takes in this country anymore, and I'm glad the result was what it was today, but all it takes now is someone to point the finger and accuse, and you're guilty.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
it.
Much.
So all these crazy bitches with their menstrual blood on their faces and protesting Kavanaugh, this guy, it was not proven that he did anything, but yet he was as guilty as the day is long, and therefore we elected a rapist or confirmed a rapist to the Supreme Court.
Oh, of course.
I mean, and that's it. That's the bottom line right there. No proof needed. We just need one unhinged witch pointing her finger and said, he did it. He did it. And I guess that's all it takes.
Well, to everybody that's saying that tonight, I just would like to point out to them that we reelected a fucking rapist for president at one point.
We did.
Go and fuck yourselves.
No, a proven rapist.
Yeah, exactly.
Not an allegation, a proven rapist.
Yeah. But, you know, he talks smooth, so he was okay.
Right, of course. So anyway, there we go. Kicking off the show tonight. A couple of good tunes there, but yeah, it's been a ridiculous 2 weeks here in the country in the U.S. I know all of our listeners are not U.S. Citizens and listen from all over the world, but I'm sure that you probably have had your fill of the nonsense that goes on over here because this is what makes the news, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, thankfully this is done until, with any luck, we'll start this process all over again next week if Ginsburg would do us a favor and drop.
Yeah.
You know, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Get rid of that fucking... How can an 85-year-old fucking woman that can't stay awake in a hearing be a judge?
Well, she's just staying there out of principle of, well, I'm not going to give Trump another chance to elect another judge.
No, let's hope that she dies before he goes.
Right.
No, she's got to have to... I don't see her lasted 6 more years, do you?
No, not at all.
No
I mean,
way.
she can barely stay awake. I mean, she can't even clearly say a whole sentence without just being.
She's in any other life she'd be locked away in the far corner of the old age home, but because she got thrown up onto that bench 50 years ago or whatever, she gets to stay.
Right. Well, anyway, it is a victory for people who care about conservative values and care about constitutional things, which this country is based on. Mm-hmm. And we have gotten so far away from, our core values here as far as the way the government is supposed to operate.
Right.
That this has taken us at least one notch back the other way.
Sure.
Where it's supposed to be anyway.
I don't worry about any of that stuff. You know what makes me happy? When I see cunt bags like Eric Holder crying the blues about this is not even a valid court anymore with it.
Really? Why isn't it a valid court? Why?
Because Kavanaugh shouldn't be there.
Why?
Because you should have a lefty in there to vote their principles.
Oh, I see. I see.
But anytime I see Obama or Holder or any one of these fucking scumbags that should be in prison unhappy, that makes me really happy.
Of course.
I don't really give a shit about the issue at all. Kavanaugh, he grabbed some chick's tit in high school.
Well,
whatever.
But even if he did or didn't, there is no proof of that at all. None.
Even if there was. See, I'll go even further. Even if there was, don't we spend our time in high school learning how to be adults?
Yes.
Making all of our mistakes?
Yes.
So, yeah, he didn't stick his dick in her, for fuck's sake. The accusation is what? That he held her down?
Well, again, you're assuming he was even there.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying the allegation.
The allegation, but see, here's the thing. This is the troubling part about all of this, is that this paints a picture as if he actually did any of this at all. I mean, I don't know if he did. I don't know if he didn't. But there is no proof one way or the other that this guy was even there.
Yeah, but there was that FBI. Oh, wait a minute. That didn't help.
No, that was a sham. Because it didn't, have the results, the desired results that they wanted. So now it's a sham.
Whatever.
But see, here's the thing: is when you say even if he was,
yeah,
the problem with even saying that, and I know it's your opinion, and you're
sure.
welcome to it. It's just that it paints a picture as if this guy actually participated in something that he may not have even been near or anywhere near the place.
Oh, dude, I get that. I mean, this should never have been even an issue unless they had fucking photographic proof or a police report or something. Some other person to corroborate the...
yeah, that's a big word.
It's a big, stupid word.
Corroborate.
But, I'm with you. No evidence, then go fuck yourself. It didn't happen as far as anything is concerned legally. But, I just look at the whole thing and laugh. And of course, we are the bad guys, meaning you, but I get lumped into it.
But here's the other thing that no one talks about.
Yeah.
This moral high horse that these lefties always claim that they're on, that we support women and we're about women's rights and we're about protecting women and we're women this, women that. I didn't see one of these politicians who are so concerned about women step up and say, yeah, look what we're doing to Kavanaugh's wife and his daughters.
Yeah, well, they don't care.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like I didn't see one of them say, you know what, this is really hard on Kavanaugh's wife and daughters. They're all women.
Right.
Apparently, they don't count.
No, they don't matter.
Well, that's the hypocrisy of it all. So when I don't see any compassion for the opposition's women,
yeah,
then you're a hypocrite, and your concerns or your moral high ground is invalid as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Well, dude, and of course, I posted a single meme on the CMS page, the one that I sent you about the I haven't seen a liberal this upset since yesterday. Right. And some fucking douchey chick fucking posted on our page about, we suck and blah, blah, blah.
Well, how did she find us? Why would she even know about our page? I mean, obviously, if she has that viewpoint, she's certainly not a fan of what we do or say.
She writes, I'll tell you, I mean, I'll read it. I got it right in front of me. She wrote, "Leave politics off your page, please. Bad enough seeing it everywhere else." And I wrote my normal response when anybody tells me what to do. A one word, no. And she writes, "Chris Aiken, nice response by messaging me no. Your page sucks anyway.
So what are you doing here?
You must be ecstatic to finally get more than one like on a post. Ew, gross men."
Well, what are you doing here?
What?
Well, what is she doing there?
Well, she's not now. She's blocked.
Well, I understand, but my point is what was she doing there to begin with?
Who knows? I don't know.
So, anyway, not to turn this into a whole political show, but it was definitely a victory for people who believe in not being wrongly accused and just held up as if no matter what a woman says, or anybody says for that matter, and points a finger and blames, that you're automatically guilty.
Right.
That's ridiculous. That's not the way that this country was founded. We were not founded on guilty until proven innocent, or any allegation leveled against you is true. I mean, through the history of this show and in the years that you have been involved with me, so many allegations have been leveled toward both of us, mostly you.
Yeah.
But even my own sister has leveled allegations against you.
Right.
And it's not true. Yeah. Well, he's like this, or he said that, or they did this, or what, and it's just like, you were so like off base here.
Right.
Oh, well, he, all this being indignant.
How dare he say that word?
Yeah. Well, again, but the thing is that anybody who knows me or has known me, I live a very, for the most part, I live a very, very private life.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Never been in trouble, never been arrested, never took drugs, never did anything. I guess in the whole scope of things, I guess I would be considered a goody two shoes. Yeah. That old saying. But because of my association with you,
right.
I get, and you just said it before, that you get lumped in with me. Well, I get lumped in with you.
Of course.
So I guess it's you're known by the company you keep, that old adage. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is that I go out of my way, and I think I proved that this evening in some of the business dealings we've had.
Sure.
In an email that I wrote earlier today.
Sure.
That I'm a little more conciliatory about things than you are.
Oh, yeah.
But because of our association, we're both the bad guys no matter what.
Of course. Yep. No, I get that. That's true.
So, and I don't care. If I cared about it, I would have go, well, I can't be lumped in with that. Ooh,
Show over.
Yeah, really. But I don't care about that. But anyway, for those of you who care about those things, both Chris and I are happy for different reasons.
Yeah.
Chris is happy because he hates the previous president and his administration and all his crooks. Yes. And I'm happy to see actual justice being proven, I guess.
Yeah. Being brought back.
Yeah, exactly. So, for us as Americans, and I know that we got a lot of people outside the country who probably don't care one way or the other, we got guys like the Aussie Ace who loves the Trump. Yeah, we got a guy like Jan Patrick who could give a shit.
Right.
And that's cool. And I like the fact that all of them are fans of ours or the show equally.
Sure.
No matter what their viewpoint is.
Yep.
So anyway, moving along, this is going to be a very first time show. There's a lot of firsts here tonight.
All right.
Our friends, our fans, have been working diligently together to create a song, the CMS All Stars.
Okay.
And the guy who spearheaded this, probably the most talented of all the CMSers that I'm aware of. I'm not saying that everybody isn't talented in their own way, but our good friend Jan Patrick, who you've collaborated with, organized the CMS fans to create a song specifically for the CMS.
Yeah.
Which basically is about being a fan of the show.
So I hear.
I will tell Jan, and I mean this in all sincerity and in all honesty, he asked me not to listen to the song. He sent it to me about 3 days ago, and I have not listened to the song.
I have not either.
So I have not listened to it. I swear on my mother's grave that I did not listen to the song.
Right.
And you, Chris Aiken, and myself will be listening to it along with the rest of the CMS fans for the first time tonight.
First time play.
It will be a first time play. Along with the first-time play, our good friend Nader DePriest from the band London, he's releasing a new CD next Friday.
Right.
He's doing a special midnight show at the Whiskey on the Sunset Strip, the starting place of the band London. And they're releasing a new CD. He has sent me 3 of the songs, which we're going to play here tonight. And then Nader is going to call in about a half an hour.
All right, cool.
So Nader's going to call. We haven't had Nader on the show in quite a while.
Okay.
And he's releasing new music, and he's going to talk about the upcoming show. So if you're going to be in the Southern California, Hollywood area next Friday night, there will be a show at the Whiskey. I was going to fly out and attend, but I've got a very, very big project going on this week that I could not go.
Sure.
So a $300,000 job is going to have to take precedence over my personal pleasure of going out to L.A. and hanging out with Nader and the boys.
Oh, sure, dude. It's all about the money with you.
It is because I am a capitalist, and I believe in capitalism, and I believe in money making, and I believe in keeping the show on the air.
Yeah, and $300,000 will help.
Yes, exactly. So I'm not going to be able to go next week like I had hoped. So next week, unless you're doing something, it'll be a show like normal.
All right. That works.
All right. So I know the fans were a little upset that we were a little disjointed there for 3 or 4 weeks with the show. But
sure.
As far as I know, between now and the end of the year, I have nothing on my calendar.
I think I have one thing, but it's not till like the end of November, but I'm not even sure on that. So,
okay.
I have a bunch of concerts coming up, but I think only one of them is on a Saturday.
Okay.
So I think we're good pretty much till the end of the year.
All right. What was I going to say here? As far as November is concerned, I did a little math. And I'm thinking that the CMS is going to cross the 5 million mark about November 1st.
Boy, we've been slowing down, huh?
It varies. I mean, it could be sooner, but I had estimated it was going to be about October 25th. Mm-hmm. But I think the few weeks that we were away and we didn't really have any new content kind of slowed that down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I'm thinking November 1st, right about there, I believe we will cross 5 million downloads, which I think are 4 million downloads. I think we crossed that. I believe it was like March 3rd. So we did 1 million downloads in like 8 months.
That's not bad. That's legitimate.
Yeah, so that's and we weren't puffing the numbers.
No, we're just throwing it up there and letting people listen.
Right. So it is picking up steam, and so it'll be quite a momentous milestone for the show.
Yeah.
5 million downloads, since we've been uploading the show to the social media outlets such as Spreaker and iTunes and iHeartRadio and TuneIn and all that good stuff.
All that shit.
Yeah. So thank you, fans, for that. So that's coming up in a matter of like 3 weeks.
Right.
And boy, I'll tell you what, I would have never imagined this show taken off the way it has.
Well, as you told me on the phone earlier today, it's the Trump effect.
It is. It definitely is the Trump effect. I sincerely believe that since Trump has been in office almost 2 years, I would say that our biggest numbers really have come within the last 2 years, only because people feel comfortable in being able to express their thoughts without being castigated or feel as if they're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's just I say this all the time. I am always blown away that so many people are listening and giving this thing weight. And I sent you a text earlier from a
friend and somebody who's in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, saying that he was on the verge of committing suicide, but we listening to the show made him not. It's like, Jesus. It's like, I didn't know that the Confederate flag and rubber pussies could convince people to stay alive, but Wow.
Okay, well, got something to live for.
Yeah, to hear us.
Right.
Which is, look, it's all humbling. I in my wildest dreams, I never thought that we would have a show that would be this big. I always thought it was just going to be me and you just fucking up.
Right.
I never thought. It was always fun, even back when we were first starting on the internet, and we were having our little radio battles with, whoever, Dirt Talk or Talking Metal or this station or that station, whatever. It always just seemed like it was like a little diversion.
Of course it is.
But now it's like a thing. Now it's like a legitimate thing. And we say something, it's, if we interview somebody, it's on the news. And if we say the wrong thing, we get emails from the bands themselves now that are upset with us or happy with us. Or, we've run into how many bands that listen to us when they're on the road. And it's just crazy that this thing has turned into like legitimate when it was just supposed to be me and you fucking off.
Right. Well, you never know. Well, I'm going to send out a shout out, and I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do this because, I appreciate what this guy does. We have been marketing the CMS, not because we need it or any other reason.
Sure.
But a guy who is a fan of the show, he found us through, I believe, YouTube.
Okay.
David Ortiz.
Okay.
He found us through YouTube. He sees the potential in the show to market it. And he has been working hard to find sponsors for the show. Mm-hmm. And we basically told him, hey, if you could sell this show in its form the way that it is without expecting any kind of changes,
right,
have at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's done that. And if you haven't noticed, if you follow any of our social media, be it the Facebook or the Twitter, or see it on our CMS website, that we do have a few banner ads up there, and we are running some pre-roll stuff on the Spreaker and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But David is a believer.
Sure,
he's a believer in the show. So I'm just going to say, thanks, David. Thanks for your hard work.
I'll just thank David for taking my bullshit and not quitting.
That is true, too. You've been pretty harsh.
Because I have been a total... And I said it in the one email today. I know I'm being a dick.
I saw it.
But I do know I'm being a dick. But, it's just... I don't want to get into all that. Yeah. I appreciate what David is doing as well. I am obviously always going to be the growing pain because I am a pain.
Right.
Especially when it comes to cutting into my time.
Right, sure.
But we're working through it. And, I have no ill will at all for David. And I very much appreciate that, A, he found us sponsors, but B, it's not bullshit sponsors either. I don't know if you looked at the Rock Gear website.
I did look at it. Yes, I did.
There's some quality shit there.
There is, absolutely. So, as CMS fans, if you care to,
yeah,
and we didn't want to integrate this into the live show, but if you care to, go over there to those sponsors, just click on their links or whatever, even if you don't care to buy anything, just out of curiosity, if you want to just see what these guys do, just check them out. That's all I ask.
And I'll do a real commercial here. If you buy rock gear, meaning rock t-shirts, rockgear.store has fucking awesome licensed gear. And they've got like the really good old stuff from like Metallica and Megadeth and shit. And I'm not, this is not a paid endorsement because we've already dealt with the paid piece of it. I'm just saying that I looked at it and I'm like, all right, I'm going to deal with half a dozen Christmas presents this week myself.
There you go.
Just because I have a ton of friends that buy rock t-shirts and they've got some good ones that I haven't seen before that are licensed by the bands. And so why not? Why not use it?
Sure, why not? So anyway, if you have an opportunity, go over there and check out the sponsors. It's not, we're not a paid per click type thing or anything else.
No.
If you go over there, great. If you don't, big deal.
Great.
Whatever. But if you want to go check it out, go check it out.
Yeah. There you go.
And these are people who actually, will, and, basically endorse our bullshit.
Yeah. They're paying money to keep the show going.
Exactly.
So.
We don't ask you fans to say, hey, check out our Patreon page or check out our Venmo or whatever it is, because we don't do that. But, hey, David Ortiz has been busting his hump, getting some sponsors and say, hey, these guys are a little unorthodox. Yeah. They're a little bit, they're a little bit out there. They're uncensored. But, hey, you want to run an ad on their page? And they go, fuck yeah.
Wouldn't you love to hear some of those conversations?
Of course. Now, granted, David did contact one or two people that looked at what we did or heard what we did, and they go, I don't want to be associated with that.
Fuck them.
and that has happened already, and we knew that would happen, but he didn't give up. He said, you know what? I'm going to find a sponsor that says, you know what? Don't give a shit.
Yeah.
These guys are doing something right because they've got an audience.
Well, he found 2 so far.
Yeah. And he's only been at it, like 6 weeks?
Yeah. So not too long.
Yeah. So he's working at it. So go over there and, check those guys out. And if you see something of interest, that actually is of interest to you, buy it by all means.
Yep. And if not, put your middle finger up and say, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pal.
The free CMS has always been free, man.
Yeah.
We're about the freedom here in this country, man.
Yeah, pal.
I don't care if it's been coming out of Neely's pocket for almost 24 years. Fuck that. I want my free shit.
So what if Neely's put 20 grand into the shit?
I'm sure it's way more than that.
I know. It probably, I mean, well, your studio alone is what, 10 or 12?
Yeah, it's like 12 grand, yeah.
And all the music.
Yeah.
There's a couple $100,000 on your wall.
Easily.
And then fucking, all my gear. I think you bought everything but my board.
Right.
And so, yeah, you spent a couple of bucks.
Yeah, a few over the years, but that's okay. It's a work of passion.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, glad to have the listenership that we do.
Right.
So anyway, that's what's going on with the Classic Metal Show, and we're just going along, and we're Chris and I can't express enough that we're happy that you guys enjoy what we do for whatever reason.
Yeah, even when I'm being a dick towards you fans, I still kind of like you.
Exactly. I was listening, one of my favorite podcasts, and I know I've mentioned this on the show before, but one of my favorite podcasts, it's basically a radio show, but the way that I listen to it is very much how a lot of you probably listen to the show. It's cut up into a podcast without commercials or anything else. Mm-hmm. I listened to Mark Levin.
Right.
And Mark Levin was talking about his operation, which he basically does out of his home, because periodically you can hear his dogs barking in the background.
Right.
So he was talking about his setup at his, quote unquote, his home studio. And, because he is on commercial radio and because his show is live like we do on Saturday, he talks about, the equipment and the equipment failures that he experiences during the show.
Sure.
And because his quote unquote producer, the guy who kind of runs him, he does what we do, sort of. His producer is like a remote guy. Mm-hmm. So Mark Levin is in his home studio, kind of like where I'm at. I have my full studio here in my loft at my house, and you have yours there. And basically, they coordinate the show through ISDN lines. If you don't know what that is, that's a dedicated high-speed phone line, more or less. Mm-hmm. And he broadcasts over this ISDN line, and then if the ISDN line fails, which lately it seems to be failing a lot, they have to do it over the internet, like what we're doing right now.
Right, sure.
And he talks about the fact that his show is one of the bigger talk radio shows out there. Mm-hmm. And he's got a quote unquote, a staff of 3, himself, his producer, and one other guy.
Okay.
And they basically put on even though it's a 3-hour show, it boils down to just under 2 hours. It's like an hour and 40 minutes because of commercials and everything. But he was talking about, he goes, I probably have the smallest staff in radio because I do all my own research. I do all my own this. I do my own that. And I work with a staff of 2, 3 if you include Mark Levin.
Right.
And we do the whole show by ourselves. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. I think I got you beat. There's only Chris and me.
Yeah.
And we do our whole show and we do our own research. And we put out a podcast that's 6 hours long.
Yeah. And, website and, put it on every platform known to man.
Exactly. So he gets paid millions of dollars a year to do his show. We get paid nothing.
Wait a minute. We made almost $800.
We did. That is true. I take that back. But we do similar thing. The quality of what we do is just as good as far as I'm concerned.
Sure. It's pretty close.
It's pretty close. And you get it for nothing.
Yeah.
And you don't have to listen to commercials.
And we can say what we want.
Exactly.
Would you like to hear an uncensored podcast from Mark Levin?
I know he gets really close to swearing periodically. Yeah. But, I enjoy listening to Mark Levin. And, boy, he was fired up this week.
I'll bet he was.
He was. So, but anyway, I'm proud of what's been built here on the CMS and the fans and the success that this show has had for whatever reason. And so I just want to take a minute and say thanks to the fans.
All right. Can we stop lapping their balls now?
No, I'm not lapping anybody's balls. I'm just saying thank you because I am appreciative.
All right. The fans are wonderful.
All right. All right. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill, fellas. This is Collins from the Atlanta area. Look, I want to say congratulations on the sponsorship. Chris, I know there was some discussion earlier this week about the fans of the show donating to the show. Now, I think it's cool you got sponsors and we can go shop and do that kind of thing. But what if we would actually like to contribute to the show directly? I know I'm willing to do it. I mean, if you're walking down the side of the street and you find $10, it's not like you're going to go, oh, hell, it's only $10. Screw that. I won't pick it up. I think anybody would. Just my 2 cents, just saying.
All right. Well, if anybody out there wants to throw some money at the show, you can PayPal Neely at theclassicmetalshow.com. How's that?
Neely, thank you very much. You might be surprised with what you're going to get.
Neely. And David
Neeley.
Right. David Ortiz, take note of this. It's Neeley, not Neely, okay?
And I'd like to, let me bring it back to hard rock and heavy metal. I can say the very first time I ever heard your guys' show was, it was a couple of years ago. I was when Van Halen just got back with David Lee Roth, and they were going on their reunion.
You realize that was 2007, right?
That's been a while back.
Yeah. It wasn't a couple years ago. It was over a decade ago.
But it was right around the time they released that live album.
Okay, Live in Tokyo.
Yeah, that.
Okay, well that wasn't when they got back together with them, but that's when they released that horrid 2 CD live disc. But go ahead.
Right. Well, I had promised a buddy of mine that lives in Alabama. I said, man, if they come to your town, let me know, because it seemed like at that time they weren't coming to my town. I said, if they come to your town, let me know. I'll spring for tickets. I'll come pick up you and your wife, and we'll go to the show. So I was excited, man. They were going to somewhere there in Alabama where my friend lived. And on the way over there, my wife and I were in the car, and I brought up the internet on my iPad, and I wanted to hear some live. I was trying to tell my wife, here's what we're going to hear tonight. And the damn tragedy was I found your show. And you guys were reviewing that live album, and I told her, I said, man, I think I just pissed away $600.
$600?
Yeah, the tickets I got for me and my wife and my buddy and his wife, all told $600 to go to the show. But I gotta say, I was just, man, I was distraught. I was like, man, we're gonna show up and hear this kind of shit. This is just going to be fucking dreadful. But I gotta say, man, Dave pulled through, and they put on a pretty good show that night. But that was the first time I'd ever heard your show, and I found myself looking back on YouTube mostly to find old installments of the show before I found myself just tuning in live like tonight. So, man, I just want to say I love the friggin' show. I'm willing to donate a little cash each week to make up for each week to listen. I think a lot of people are because of the conversation that was going on your Facebook page earlier this week. I think it's fun. I think I like how it doesn't succumb to political correctness. And again, it just reminds me of hanging out with my buddies back in the day, drinking beer, listening to hard rock. And if I could close, my manager's calling. If I could close with one question, Neely, listening to old episodes, you have mentioned the band Kick-Axe.
Yeah, I love Kick-Axe. They're from Vagina, Canada, or actually Regina, Canada. But go ahead.
Right. Well, I loved them too back in the day, and I was the only one of my buddies that had ever heard of them. And, I mean, just when I was really getting into them, other bands kind of caught my interest that had kind of flashier guitar and all that. So I don't know. I guess I was ultimately going to say, what is your opinion of Kick-Axe? But you just said it. So, in closing, I'm going to say, hail and kill, fellas. Much continued success. Fuck you, pal, balloon knots, and hand job.
Well, there goes Colin.
Well, he got it all in. He got all the catchphrases. He got in plugs for us. He got in some talk.
Well, Colin is a radio junkie.
Yeah.
He's one of these guys who loves to call radio shows and be active participant.
Mm-hmm.
And he apparently finds something about our show that is entertaining, and he just loves the whole radio thing.
Oh, good. Well, welcome.
So,
and again, that was Neely at the classic.
Yeah, Neely at the classicmetalshow.com. Just PayPal those hundreds of dollars this way, and I'll make sure it gets applied to the show.
Yeah, pal.
So anyway, it's like we don't shake the can, never have.
No.
But hey, since we got some legitimate sponsors now, just do us a favor and go look at them, whatever, or don't.
That's more valuable to us than sending cash.
Right, exactly. So anyway. So it's been a high point for me today. I just kind of enjoyed just kind of hanging out at the house because it's been a very windy, rainy day here all day.
Mm-hmm.
And all I did was watch gangster documentaries all day.
Nice.
That's all I did, one after another. There's a whole series that I think they ran on the History Channel at one point, but
mm-hmm.
somebody uploaded all of them on YouTube.
Okay.
So I just watched, each one was like 44 minutes.
What was it? What's it called?
It's Mobsters, I think, or I don't know, but they cover all the old-time New York mobsters, each individual one, and of course they covered the Danny Green guy from Cleveland, and all these. So I just watched one after another, the Gambinos and the Lucchese's and the, all that
right.
stuff, where these guys came from and where they were born and their upbringing and why they became the way that they were and, all that kind of stuff. But it was great.
That's good. Did I forward you the email that our mob documentarian sent us about the murder in New York this week?
No, not at all.
What's his name? Scott.
Yeah, that guy.
Dici? Is it Dici?
Yeah, him.
He sent me an email, and it was just a simple...
Oh, yeah, I see it here. Mob hit in Bronx.
Yeah, at a McDonald's.
Yeah, we'll cover that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she did send that to me. I'm just looking.
Yeah, I was just like, look at us. The guy that's in these documentaries, keeping us apprised.
Yeah, there you are.
Of the murder.
Yeah, because we're fans of that stuff.
We're fans of mob murder.
Right. So there you go. There's another guy that, knows of us because of the show and because of our discussion, mostly because of you in this situation.
Sure.
And then who was it? Oh, Bob Nobandian reached out to me today.
Okay.
He sent over email Now, while we were at the Summer Bash, I gave you a book on Dio.
Yeah,
and it was written by a guy by the name of James Curl.
Yeah.
Well, he wants to write a Dokken book.
Okay.
And so he apparently knows Bob.
Okay.
And they basically chit-chatted and whatever. So this guy wants to write a book on Dokken.
Okay.
And I guess he wants to talk to me. And he basically needs a introduction to Don and Mick.
Okay.
So I'll probably take care of that for him.
Sure.
So anyway, James Curl, who wrote the Dio book, he wants to write one on Dokken, and I'll see if I can accommodate him, and we'll see where that goes.
We got to have him on the show about his Dio book, too.
Well, of course, yeah. I'm going to hit him back here. I didn't answer his email back. He wrote me earlier today. I didn't answer him back, but
okay.
We'll get him on and talk about that. But another author.
And speaking of authors, you know who I'm interviewing this week probably for the show? We brought him up. Braverman brought him up. Mark Eglinton.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because he co-wrote the K.K. Downing book. And he's the one that put me in touch with K.K. to do the interview. And he said he wants to come on.
All right.
To tell his side of the K.K. Downing book. I was
sure.
like, okay, cool. That's fine. So, yeah, the authors are coming out. And then me releasing my book, another author.
That's right. Now tell everybody about your Judas Priest book and about, getting a pre-order and all that kind of stuff.
Well, if people want to pre-order it, they can go to chrisaikenbooks.com. They can order audiobook, they can order paperback, or they can order paperback and get themselves in the credits if they want. That's one of those little, people like that shit. So, if they want their name listed in the credits in the book forever and ever, they can buy that as well. And again, it's at chrisaikenbooks.com. It comes out. The book is actually going to be available on November 23rd, Black Friday. And, yeah, that's it really. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy promoting it quite yet, but it is available for pre-order. And if people want their name in the book, they have to order it by October 28th.
Okay.
So I have time to get it through the publisher and all that other shit.
Very good. Well, speaking of being in the credits, I guess we got informed this week that we're listed in the credits on the forthcoming Stephen Pearcy solo record.
We are. Well, you, me, and the Classic Metal Show will be listed in the new, what's it called? Shoot to the Thrill or something?
It's View to a Thrill.
View to a Thrill record from Stephen Pearcy. And I personally got a credit from the Westfield Massacre in their CD.
Very nice.
I was like, look at that. And I got a poster, an autographed to you poster for you for Westfield Massacre.
Okay.
So, there's all kinds of it.
Well, I'm the one who told Sheldon to hook up with these guys because I thought Sheldon had.
It's all about you.
And I'm the one who told Steven to call it View to a Thrill because I was watching a James Bond movie and I thought, Steven should call his new record View to a Thrill and like View to a Kill. You get the relation. Well, I thought that was a good idea, so I told Steven.
Well, way to go, Neely Trunk.
Too good. All right. Well, anyway, Nader is coming up here. He sent me over some new songs.
All right.
And I thought I would play a couple of his songs, get him on the phone, find out what's going on with the band London. I believe they're releasing their new CD this coming Friday, and they're celebrating it with a live show at the Whiskey in West Hollywood.
Cool.
At midnight.
Cool.
So sounds like a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do here, I guess I'm going to play a classic. I know that a lot of the fans, love this one song specifically. They love "Ride You Through the Night."
Right.
And we can definitely play that. And we'll get Nader on the phone. We'll talk to him, and then we'll play some new stuff from Nader because he sent that over for us to play tonight as well.
Cool.
And it's been a while since we've had Nader on the show, but he said, yeah, call me. I'm going to be driving, so hopefully he's not going to be in a bad area.
Okay.
Let's just hope that he's got a good connection.
All right. Sounds like we're going to get a George Lynch phone.
Let's hope that's not the case.
We'll see.
But we'll find out. But anyway, let's play some Nader DePriest / London, and we'll get Nader on the phone, and we'll see what's going on with him because, again, we haven't caught up with him in forever.
Yep.
And he says he's excited about coming on the show and telling us what's going on. So anyway, here it is. This is London / Nader DePriest with some Ride You Through the Night exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Hi, this is Nader DePriest from the band London, baby, and you're listening to the Classic Metal Show right here with Neely and that faggot, what's his name, Chris.